Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Keith here, Jesse on the camera, and tonight we are doing a, what do you call this, unprepared, unexpected build. Marketplace shopping build. So anyway, I was on Marketplace this afternoon, a couple hours ago, and we found a TRX4m Ripper chassis. The guy had started it, kind of just left it alone. It's pretty much ready for paint and a whole bunch of sweet parts. So let's check out what we got. Okay guys, like I was just saying, we got the TRX4m chassis from MEUS Racing. I'm probably saying that wrong. Someone's going to flame us in the comments for it. Be prepared for that. Buckle up. Anyhow, let's look at the goods. Okay, so we need a link kit. We went with the TRAXXAS 9749 metal link kit for the truck. It is listed as a lower link kit, but that covers all of the links. Don't worry, it's just listed funny. Part number 9749 TRAXXAS. We need an SR215 receiver to power it, because we are going to be actually powering it with the FURITEK 2-in-1 combo system. What are they calling this? The Unity. You're probably all too young to know what that's about, but anyhow, the Unity Pro 3500 kV 2-in-1 micro FOC. That is field orientated control. Basically, you hold the throttle at one setting and it will continue on. You can load more onto it, you can load more from it, it'll just keep on trucking at that speed. Pretty cool technology. We'll get that cracked open in a bit. Apparently, I already had a set of these tires, so Jesse just got a set of these tires, but we got the new J-Concept 1-inch monolithic from J-Concept. I think I just said that twice, but anyhow. So we already have axles from that guy there. We stole the stock axles out when we put the portals under it. So we wanted to add a little bit more brass to the front. Those axles already have the stock TRAXXAS brass front outer C-hub, or whatever you want to call it, or knuckle, sorry. But at the time, there was no other option, so those are like 7 grams of brass. I think these are like 35. Sorry, Hot Racing, part number TRXM21H. Brass, bearing, steering knuckle, TRX4M, Hot Racing. Good stuff. I'm always a big fan of Hot Racing. For the rear, we have TRXM22H. These are 18 gram TRX4M rear. These just slide over to the rear, put a couple bolts on them. Do yourself a favor, paint them black before you put them on. Paint all your brass black before you put it on. It looks a lot better. Give it a quick wash with some alcohol, because they are going to be loaded up. And I don't know why we got 2 sets of bearing or wheel nuts. Yeah. 2 sets of wheel nuts. But anyway, 2 sets of wheel nuts. Can't go wrong with that. Number 5158. We should have wheel nuts forever. I don't recall losing any, but we got them now. Stock skid plate to go into the chassis. Now the chassis, you just mount the stock skid plate, stock links, and the shocks to the axles. How did these sneak over there? Speaking of shocks, we've got the Pro Big Bore Scaler 1/18 PRO 639200. These are the big bore shocks for the 1/18 TRX4M. Those are really nice. Definitely nice. And they're cheaper. Actually, I think these are the first set of Pro-Line shocks that I bought that were actually cheaper than the manufacturer's upgraded or even nearly stock shocks. These are $59 for the set. They're $27 for a pair of factory plastic ones. If these leak, I'm going to be pissed. Yeah. We also picked up a Hobby Details little tiny 25 spline servo horn to go on the front. Now this kit comes with a lay down servo mount in the box with the drag link and the tie rod for the front end. Also, they give you both front ends in it. I don't know if this was like a special order kit or something, but anyhow, this one has the Jeep and the Toyota front end, hood, grills, all that nine. It's pretty cool stuff. small assembly screwdriver they give you, full interior. There it is. The lay down servo mount, it is a nylon molded plastic piece. You can order these in brass or aluminum, but so far I've only found them in brass from Injora, but the plastic should hold up fine for now. Servo, we have two options. We have the Micro 179 Smart from Reese. We may try to put that in there. If it is too much complication, we have a Power HD 44? What do they call it? Power HD 4?
Power HD 4. Yeah.
Power HD 4 servo from Power HD Servos. We'll go over that when I get the box out of here. It's put away. So we got the tires, we got everything covered. We are going to use a stock transmission. For some reason, we have 4 complete stock transmissions in our parts box. Don't know how we got there, but we just need to identify which one we want to use. I'm sure they have different gear ratios and such in there. So anyhow, I'm going to also get this chassis into the paint booth. We're going to quickly shoot that in a Coyote Tan, Earth Tan to Tan color with the black panels and then some Coyote Tan graphics on it. It's going to look mint. I will see you guys back here once this chassis is quickly painted and we start putting all these parts together in like 1 second. Okay guys, quick little update. We got the Hot Racing brass installed on the rear axle and on the front axle. You want to make sure you lubricate and make sure that your joints are nice and fluent, nice and easy. You can move it just by shaking it even because your servo doesn't need any lost resistance from there. Now to go to this MUES Racing lay down servo mount, that is upside down, sorry, let me hold it that way for you guys. This actually comes from the back of the differential up over the front. You need to cut these ears off. If you look on the inside, you can see where it's got a molding mark where this part from here up is an extension. You just need to cut that off either flat with that, or you could be nice and shape that so it matches the middle one. Doesn't look all hokey. We're going to cut them off and shape them to match the middle one so they're all equal looking. And then you have to remove the 2 screws on the back side. Hopefully they're long enough to pass through this. If not, you should have yourself one of these TRX4m stainless steel screw kits, or a generic one from like Power Hobbies or whoever's going to have one, MUES Racing. I don't know if they have one, but pick one of those up before you get into a project kind of this deep. You're going to need it for the links, the shocks, all that such. So anyhow, grab one of those. We're going to cut that off. We're going to get the links on. Now the link layout, pretty simple, you guys. You have 4 links for the rear, all the same size. Your 2 front lowers right here are the longer ones, and your 2 front uppers are the shorter. We're going to put this all together and get the axles ready to go back into the chassis once the chassis is painted. We'll see you guys back here in a few. Also, the Proline shocks, we're going to go with the lightest spring that they have. Apparently, they come with green and yellows pre-installed, so we need to look up what the spring rates are for those. We're going to go with the softest ones that they have in here. We're going to check the oil on them. They're probably empty. We'll put some 35 weight oil in it, and then should be ready to go together. Okay guys, quick update. Chassis is back. We've got that back out of the paint booth. We've got that done in a nice desert earth kind of color, nice earth tan with the black panels. Gonna look good. We'll come up with some details to go on top of that. Now we've got that FURITEK Unity unit stuck in there. We've got about 4 millimeters of clearance between that, and we also went with the Reese Smart 179 micro servo up in the front. It all fits. There are supplied steering links. We've got the shocks on there pretty much in a slider format as it fits. We've got the Hot Racing brass on there, all those parts we listed over. Now the only thing to do at this point now is get out your radio with our SR215 receiver. Grab your radio, transmitter, put everything together, get a battery. They give you a supplied JST to the TRAXXAS 3-pin connector, depending what battery you're going to run with that system. Get everything lit up, test it, make sure your servo works before you even put a screw in and hook it all up. Just go through it, make sure the wheels turn the right direction. Once it's all done, the wires are clean, then you can put the cage on, because the cage essentially is just your body, and then you mount your shocks and your upper link mounts through it to hold it in. I'm going to quickly bang it together and see you guys back here in a few seconds once that is on, before we put the body panels and the wheels on. Okay guys, so it turns out this FURITEK Unity Pro actually comes with the little Bluetooth dongle on there. So you link to the FURITEK app on your phone. Super simple. You go through the calibrate for the radio, you make all your settings in there. Make sure your servo is set up where you want it. I always put my servo horn on, get that dialed in before I finish the going through this process, before I move on to the next step. But anyhow, the FURITEK app, super simple. Open it up, go into the throttle, go into the calibrate section, the top right up here. It tells you exactly step by step what to do. Super simple unit. We've never had any problem with any of the FURITEK units, and we have quite a few of them. A couple people have complained about having issues with them, but I think it's more operator error, playing with settings they don't know what they're doing, interrupting it when it's doing its settings, not properly saving the settings, such like that. You want to make sure you got good full batteries in your radio before you do any of this stuff, and a good full battery on your unit. You do not need this going dead when you're trying to save your settings to the ESC. If it does have a failure disconnection, you are almost guaranteed going to have problems, so just pay attention to that. Yeah, so pretty stoked on the FURITEK unit, the Unity, the 2-in-1 combo. It's got that really nice low, slow power out the hole. It already came factory set up with a crawler setting, the right counterclockwise direction to go drop right into a TRX4, so they're already thinking ahead, which is nice. That makes it so if anybody's not really confident in programming or anything like that, by any means, you could just plug it in and go have fun. So I'm going to quickly get this thing back together. We'll see you guys in a few seconds right before we put the body panels and the tires on. Okay guys, so I got the body panels in the booth right now. Let's talk about the wheels and tires. Now, we didn't have these earlier in the video, but luckily it is a new day and Eliminator RC is just down the road, about an hour from us, round trip, so not bad, depending on what day of the week. Anyhow, J-Concept 1.0 1-inch rim megalithics in the green compound. I don't know what the green compound is from them, but it works great. And we're going with, pardon? I don't think I'll need them on the rears, but they're there. For the rims are the Proline Rock Shooter. Sorry, do it this way. The rims are the Proline Rock Shooters 1.0. These are all brass. The rim, I think the lock ring and the 17-gram inner lock ring is all brass on it. And we've already banged it together for the front half. They fit together really nicely with the J-Concept tires. Also, the J-Concept tires are directional, so just pay attention to when you're building them. What we use as a rule of thumb is on here there is a little, bring it up here, you see better, a little triangle. We're using that as the forward rotation of the tire. So just lining up those, make sure you have them all pointing forward. 2 on the left, 2 on the right. Don't put them all the same way pointing forward, or else that wouldn't work for you well. But so just pay attention to that. We've already got the front done, so we're going to do 1 left, 1 right to put the rear together. We got the body panels in the booth. We did a cool little paint job on that to go with the kind of a coyote tan we're going with it. So let's build these really quickly, show you guys how we roll with these. Now normally we would take out the foam and we would run a tire punch tool and vent our tires 1, 2, 3, 4 spots, as you guys know we like to do. Depending if it's going to be a spring tire, you know, something that's going to get wet a lot, we won't vent those. But tires that we run in the summer, definitely tires we run in the winter, I'll say, if they cave in if you don't vent them. But these guys, we can't run the tire punch. It is too large. It'll take out 2/3 of the tire running 4 holes through them. So we're going to put them together, and we're just going to take a small piece of metal. I believe this came out of the grate of the jet boat, the bottom of the Pro Boat jet boat. Little, anyway, 1.2 millimeter stainless steel rod. I'm going to heat that up, and we're going to poke a nice little hole. 1, 2 holes in these will be more than enough to get that job done. Anyhow, put your brass ring inside. They are the ones you can normally just buy from them. They're marked ProLine with a 17-gram logo on them. I had a knife. Oh, it rolled away. Saved by the CalRC carbon pit mat. Didn't get away too far. 17-gram ProLine brass ring. Now these work with the ProLine plastic wheels like you would have on your TSLs, the same ones that use the 3-bolt inner beadlock ring on the back. These TSLs are great tires too, by the way. So yeah, get that mounted up, and what I like to do is take my finger, doesn't matter the size of the tire, and just go all the way around and push the ring into all the corners of the tire. I know circles don't have a corner, but someone's going to tell me so. We'll just do one right now really quickly while we're waiting for that paint to dry. Show you guys how these go together. It seems like it's not going to fit well, but they actually fit really banging. So now the one we're starting with here, we're not going to pay attention to what side they are because we need to do one opposite than the other. So we'll get this one built and figure it out. So drop that face down in there. Make sure you've got everything centered. Should look like that. You'd have no pieces hooked or pinched. The back lock ring is 3 holes. Line those up, drop them in. I'm old, so I completely missed the hole. I had to reline it up again, but we got it. Now, fun part. Load up your 1.5 millimeter driver. We're using our Vanquish ones, of course. You're going to need to push down on the opposite side. It's only got 3 holes in the back. You don't want to overload or torque the ones. Push down there, there, and there together so we can go all 3 spots down the same time. Get the first screw started with about 5 or 6 threads. A little trick, what I do is put my screwdriver in between so I can hold my pressure down on that. You don't want to let go of that. You can, it's not going to really hurt anything, but just due diligence, keep some pressure on it till you get another one started. That way it just helps keep the tire from trying to pop out the bead. Now you don't run those down more than a couple of turns until you get all 3 in, and then you roll through it at the same time, tightening it up equally as you go around. And then once you're down, take them back out, put Loctite on them, because they will come loose. So I'm going to go all the way around, circle motion, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, rinse and repeat. Now if you take your time, you do it right, you don't even have to check on the other side as it goes. Everything will fall into its hole and happy. Like the bead will pull into the bead groove where it's supposed to go. Everything will look good. It's a long way down. Looks great. Really nice finish. Like I said, take your time. They fit together. Bead popped in all the way around exactly where we want it to be. Nothing sticking out. Really nice profile on that tire. 63 millimeter overall, and probably close to what? 20 wide. Give or take 20 wide. So 63, nearly almost, was it almost 3 inches? Nearly. 75 millimeters would be 3 inches, so yeah. Quite a ways up there. Pretty good sized tire compared to ProLine tire or something like that. Now, ain't nothing wrong with this TSL. Might even be a better tire. We don't know yet. But anyhow, that is how those are done. Now we're quickly going to go and heat that up, and we're going to poke that hole through. Kids watch this, so we're not going to be doing it on a camera. Find a way, get your parents. If you are a child, don't try to heat it up yourself. Go get somebody to help you with that. You just need to heat it up, poke a small hole in there, use a candle or something. Don't be silly. Don't burn your damn house down. Anyhow, I'm going to go get the body panels. We're going to put it on this thing. We'll do the final reveal, and then we're going to hit the trail. Okay, guys, there you go. So we went with the Fox Shocks logo on the side, the top. Did a little stripe here, little accent stripe up there. Now, it came with the plastic light bar from it, but it's just a placeholder for the mounts, I guess, so they don't get busted off. $25, I was able to order the light bar and the headlight kit off Amazon, $25 Canadian, so it's like negative $2 American, I think, so that's pretty dang good. Anyhow, yeah, we went with a Jeep body on it because it is the Ripper, if you would. Ripper was a Jeep body. It does come with Toyota, but we like the Jeep. One change we did make was we put the bolts for the front of the hood through the top, so they just went with everything else. It just seemed funny to have 4 bolts on every panel and then only 2 on the hood, and these ones actually were supposed to come up from underneath. It's very finicky with a small screwdriver and a small screw going all the way up behind the steering. So you know what? We just drilled them out. We run them through the top. It looks really good. Battery goes in the back. Comes with a supplied piece of Velcro. What we are going to do is just glue a washer onto here and glue a couple magnets on the back so we can just stick the battery into the back. Nice and simple and ain't going anywhere, but for now, this will do. Let's fire this guy up. We'll do a little bench tutor. Make sure everything is running well. One issue we ran into is our brass front massive steering weights. We went with the 33 gram ones, whatever. They are hitting the larger screws on the bottom of the big bore shocks because everything's pushed out. And we also had to make a little bit of clearance on either side for the shock screws on the top. As you can see, they are a little bit wider. We have to space them out so they're not rubbing on the side of the chassis. So everything flows in there. And also, I don't know if I showed it earlier in the video, but we did have to cut out the inside of the top of the servo mount where the upper links run to the back of the chassis. When you spread it out to hook it to the chassis, they were binding and it would want to pop one way and not come back because it was comfortable. That way it was binding in the middle. So you just carve it out with a hobby knife, really simple, and then put it all together. So we also cut the ears off the back of the switch, and I just shoe glued it. Cut the ears off the sides of the switch, and we shoe glued it onto the back of the cage behind the driver's seat. Nice and simple. We do need to find a couple Lego people to put in here for our drivers. We'll get on that a little bit later. And we do need to make a steering wheel for Lego Dude to hold on to, but oh yeah, so these big old chunky brass guys are hitting the bolts right here. So what we're gonna do is just grind off a little bit of the brass to get a little bit more steering out of there. We don't want to stress anything out, so. I think it's pretty quick enough. Now that's with the low-speed transmission gearing from TRAXXAS in there. You're kind of wondering how it was going to be. I don't have anything here, Carl. Oh look, there's a drill. Check out the FOC. Yeah, super nice, slow, good top end. Now that's with the supplied 11-tooth pinion. It already comes pressed onto the motor, which is nice. You don't need to worry about that. But anyhow, I'm gonna shut up. We're gonna go outside. We're gonna drive this thing. Now, mind you guys, it's cold out there. It's early morning, so I wouldn't give it, I wouldn't judge the tires, the performance, anything exactly on that. Once we get our indoor course dialed up, we'll repair it. We rescued a 20-pound cat and he destroyed it. So, let's go outside.
trooper.
Okay guys, so the MEUES Racing TRX4m Ripper build is, it's great. Thing runs beautiful. We got that 2-in-1 FURITEK 3500 kV Unity powering it. So that's a 2-in-1 combo, motor, ESC, both in one. If you guys watched the video, obviously you've seen that go in there. We've got the Reefs 179 Smart Servo for the steering. It's got like crazy good, fast, strong steering in it. Paint job came out good. We got some nice scratches in there, looking good already. It's even got nice provisions for the battery. It's just a great unit. We added some Lego figures in there as drivers. I don't know if anybody at the Key 9 caught that, but we painted up some Lego guys with some clean air tubes and all that fancy cool stuff. We do have a light bar and a light kit on order. Watch the part 2 video of that. We got a bit of suspension tuning to do. I need to get lighter springs in the front. They're too heavy. I guess they're tuned for hard body. This is a hard body, but the cage is a lot actually lighter than the hard body TRAXXAS applies. Anyhow, we're gonna go grab some Losty Pro Moto, do some ripping. I'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers.